Riddle me this, fanboy. What is more fun than a box of comic books? Nothing. That's the answer. Nothing. So I guess it's really kind of more of a statement than a riddle. But anyway, there it is. That's the box we'll be getting into today. It is not a full box, as you can see, so this will be a fairly quick video, but still, we're going to have a good time. So if you like comic books, stick around. We are going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghalla. My name is Duke, and this is an unboxing video, and this one's a little different. Now, I have taken you around before at the office, the .com Comics warehouse in Freeport, Maine, where we store all of the books from the collections we buy all over the world before we parse them out into different sales streams, whether it's eBay or Comic Link or our retail store there in Freeport. And some of those books have been sitting there, once they were sorted to go into multi-book lots on eBay, they've been sitting there for 3-4 years, some of them waiting for us, to get to them. And so what happened recently, both myself and those boxes actually I did off camera, but the ones we're going to see were done by one of the co-owners of the company. He went through some of those boxes and pulled out some things that, although they were sorted to be, part of multi-book lots at the time, again, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, we now think they may be appropriate for singles. And of course, a single, when we sell a book as a one-book lot on eBay, well, whether it's a one-book lot or a multi-book lot, we like to get at least $10 for that lot. So a raw single is a book that we think all by itself, not slabbed from CGC or anything like that, but just that one loose book, will bring at least $10. So you be the judge as we go through this half box here and see whether you're not, would you pay at least $10 for that book? Do you think somebody else would pay $10? That's kind of what we're going for. So please do like, share, subscribe, do all of the groovy things. And here are the first couple. And this actually does quite well. This will fool you because a lot of people will look it up in the guides as Huckleberry Hound or as Hanna-Barbera Spotlight, but the actual title of this book is just Spotlight. That's what's in the indicia. But these books go pretty decent on eBay, and I think that's because a lot of people either forgot or didn't realize that there was a time when Marvel actually did the Hanna-Barbera books. Of course, Hanna-Barbera is now owned by Classics Media, which is owned by, AT&T through DreamWorks, which is, of course, the same corporate parent as DC Comics. So these are in the DC wheelhouse these days. But again, back during 35 cents, this would have been 1978 or so, Hanna-Barbera was put out by Marvel. So this is number one. This series only had 4 issues, but there is the first one. And there's actually 2 of that issue in there, and they're both newsstand copies, as you might expect from 1978. And this is Charlton Comics, the Jetsons number 1. And that one's in pretty decent condition. These are probably about a 6 or so. This one is a good 7 at least. You all know more once I get out of the bag and do the actual grading, which I'm set to do here as soon as I turn this video off. But anyway, the cartoon books normally don't do that well for us, except these ones from Marvel do okay, and this one is a first issue. So we think those will do both at least $10. We're hopeful anyway. And here's some more stuff that was pulled out of inventory. And we used to kind of cut off for single sales at, 12, 15 cent issues. Now it's getting so up into the 20, 25 cent issue. Even a mid-grade book like this, you can feel pretty comfortable getting $10 for. Although here is a Silver Age Thor right here. I call this the giant dildo cover. Because that's what it looks like. Here's a king-size annual with the Guardians of the Galaxy, the original Guardians, number 213. So basically, in this video, we're going to see a lot of books that we haven't seen in recent boxes because, again, they are later in the time period that we normally set aside for singles. But, again, we've pulled them out of inventory to try them as singles rather than, waiting, because we've only got 3 full-time employees. I do most of the grading. There's another one who does, the singles, the listings and the scanning for the books on singles. And then we got just one guy doing all the multi-book lots. And so those tend to pile up. And so rather than just sitting there as multi-book lots, we thought, well, let's take a look and see if some of this stuff that maybe a few years ago we thought was only maybe a $2 or $3 or $4 book On eBay, which is a little different than you might expect at your retail store. This one looks like the cover's detached at the top staple. Let's see how these will do as singles. And again, once again, I'll say it one more time, the target is 10 bucks. So were you reading Thor at this time? This is just a little bit before my time. I came along at the end of the 25-cent era. And I know a lot of the regular viewers of this channel are older and may have stopped reading Thor by this point. Here is, it's kind of a groovy costume there. What is his name? Mercurio. Well, there you go. Hail thee, Mercutio. Here's Absorbing Man, a frequent Thor villain. They walk like gods. Walk like an Egyptian. Here's an issue of Incredible Hulk. Back when he was on TV, he was Marvel's TV sensation, the Lou Ferrigno Bill Bixby series. Looks like this is some kind of a flashback to the origin of the Avengers. That looks like fun. This one's a little later. Again, 35 cents. That's around 1978 or so. Moonstone. I think that might be the first Moonstone. This, I'm pretty sure these purple hands are Machine Man. And he shall be Hulk no more. Look at the bell bottoms they're wearing. That's pretty funny. And actually, I mean, 35 cents, 1978, once again. 78 seems a little late for bell bottoms, but I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering myself. And I'll pull out another stack here. Some more Hulk. The Cavern of Bones. My goodness. Here is, I don't know who that is. I actually don't know. Here's some more. Here's an Old World's Finest. This probably got rejected for a single because of the condition. You got a spine roll here, but I think that'll get 10 bucks. Sometimes stuff just gets missed. Although out of all of the Silver Age DCs, the superhero books, I think World's Finest does the, I don't want to say worst, but least well. I'm kind of off camera here. Sorry about that. I was giving the riddle lots of space. So Strange Tales 125. I'm surprised that was ever in inventory. That might have been just something that was missed. This is number 18, but it is the first issue of Master of Kung Fu. The title changed. Before this, the first 17 issues, it was Special Marvel Edition. And this is only the third appearance of Shang-Chi. He first appeared in number 16. So that's a good book. Ghost Rider 13, that's a good book. Yeah, shame these were just sitting in inventory. I love this guy, the Orb. He was used not to very great effect in one of the recent Marvel company-wide events, which is, they do one of those every month, but it was a couple years ago. But back during that time period, I certainly thought he was all that. Here's number 18. Here's Werewolf by Night. And I believe Werewolf by Night is where George Perez got his start. Unfortunately, Perez doesn't sound like he's going to be with us for much longer. But I think I read somewhere that he got his start on Werewolf by Night in part because it was a title nobody wanted. So they gave him that as kind of a tryout. I don't know how true that is. You'd let me know in the comments below if I'm right or wrong. I know I read that somewhere. These are all good. These would have been good for our Halloween mystery boxes if I'd known they were there. Here's some more. Whoops. Here's Moon Knight. Got to be careful of this ring catching on the book. But that is, I think, the third appearance of Moon Knight. So that should do quite well. Here's Iron Man. More Iron Man. Is this got Perez in it? I don't think this series went too long. Nope, Don Parlin at this point. Giant Size Werewolf, number 3. Giant Size Werewolf. Not by night here. He's just regular old werewolf here. There's number 5. Here's issue 23. And number 22. I don't know what that little slip of paper was. Just It doesn't look like it came off any of the books. Some more werewolves. Quite a good little collection of werewolf books we've got here. There's Wolf v. Wolf. Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 11, Caught in a Web. Giant-sized Thor. Godzilla number 1, that's a good book. Here's another number 1. Very nice. This one's a little rough as far as the spine goes, but there's a 100-page super spectacular of Detective Comics. Got a little bit of a tape pull or something down here. No, that's probably not a tape pull. That's just a paper shear of some kind. 432. The Creeper. The Return of the Creeper. After having his own series for, what was it, 6 or 7 issues, the Creeper kind of went into limbo. So this was his first appearance after several years. Here's the anniversary issue of Action Comics, number 400. My son, is he man or beast? A little bit of both, it looks like. Here's another detective, 439. A little bit of a spine bend, but those are great. There's a Silver Age Action, number 365. Everybody's Come to See Superman's Funeral. Wanted Dead or Alive. Is that a... That almost looks like a Neil Adams cover. And here is a... now these are popular. Right around this period, Wonder Woman had some Brian Ballard covers that are quite popular. I believe that's Ballard. And they do quite well in the marketplace. The rest of these are all in bags and boards. Now, Spider-Man the Arachnis Project. I've never heard of this. I don't know what it is. And frankly, now I didn't pull all of these books. I question if that one's going to get to $10, but we'll put it through. We'll see what happens. Here's some X-Men. That's Carol Danvers' short-lived identity as binary. Once they came up with the new Monica Rambeau Captain Marvel, they had to think of something to do with Carol. That's a nice cover. Unfortunately, we got a couple of spine ticks here, but that's a popular cover right there. Number 205 of Wonder Woman. Venom -1. That's another one. I question if that'll get to $10, but we'll see. Spider-Man Made Men. Is this number 1? Don't know what it is. It's kind of a trade paperback kind of a thing. We'll see. I doubt that'll get to 10. Maximum Clonage Alpha. Oh my goodness. That's another one. We'll see, but I'm doubting it. Here's Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, -1. None of the -1 books do that well that I'm aware of. They're usually $3 and $4 books. Hitman, number 1. That was a big book for a while, but that's kind of come back down to earth. That should still get at least $10 though, I would think. Silver Surfer Requiem by J. Michael Straczynski and Ribic. Variant second printing. Huh. Well, we'll have to see. Now this is more my speed. Astonishing Tales featuring It! Exclamation point, the Living Colossus. That's fun. I believe that's Fin Fang Foom. Yeah, it is. It says so right there. Fin Fang Foom. Gotta love you some Fin, some Fang, and some Foom. Predator. This never does that well. This will be like a $5 book. But we'll put it through. The owner picked it. I shall do it. Lone Wolf and Cub number 1. I never got into that. I've never been into manga myself. And anime only so far as Star Blazers and Speed Racer. I remember when this book came out. I bought this off the stands myself at the time. Off the newsstand because we did not have any comic book stores in Maine at that time. It was a fairly new concept nationally anyway. But this was a big deal. DC Comics presents number 1. A new Superman team-up in every issue. DC had tried turning World's Finest Comics for a brief period into a Superman team-up book, and it didn't take. But they seemed to think that it would work here, and it did. I mean, it was around for 97 issues. And the first 15 or 20 are definitely worth reading. After that, they got kind of generic. It became kind of a tryout book for new talent to a large degree. Starslayer. Now, this series doesn't do that well, but the first 6 issues were from Pacific Comics, which was a distributor that got into the publishing business here. And oh my God, her waist, it looks like 2 different people. Oh, it is. Never mind. She's back here. I was thinking this leg was attached to her. This and this were her legs. But that's him, and this is her. Even so, that's still quite a long waistline for her. Some nice underboob, though. But there's a couple of the early issues of Starslayer. This was Mike Grell's kind of Warlord in Space epic. But there are a couple of the early issues, and yes, this is one. That's, if it's not the first Rocketeer, it is a very early Rocketeer by Dave Stevens. I think this might be the second appearance of the Rocketeer. And there's another of the Pacific Starslayer issues. Again, the first 6 were from Pacific. After that, it moved over to First Comics. There's another one that features, I think, like the second appearance of Gru the Wanderer. But so really, Starslayer doesn't do that well. Even the first issue is like a $1 book. But those 2 issues should do decently, although we've only got that one. Oh, wow. Well, you know, that's interesting. Terminator, Judgment Day, a nice Arnold cover. Arnold looks so young here, doesn't he? Wow. I mean, he was a full-grown adult to me at the time, but here he looks like just a kid. Huh. Well, I guess I've gotten old. But that's a big old trade paperback. We'll see how that does. Wolverine number 2, that should do okay. Here's another Predator. Oh no, this is Aliens versus Predator. So, Spawn number 9, first appearance of Angela. Not that that really means anything. Spawn number 2, that'll do all right. It says Key. Well, it must be then. Here's another Starslayer number 2 with a second Rocketeer. I'll have to look that up. I'm pretty sure that's what that is, the second Rocketeer. What If number 1. And, oh, there's another book here as well. What is that? Oh, Power Girl number 1. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Here's Spider-Man versus Wolverine. That's a good, dependable seller. I don't know that it's a $30 book as this price tag claims, but does pretty well. X Factor 23, you know, X Factor is pretty much fine, you know, not even issue 1 really. But 5, 6, and 24. And then everything else is kind of, you know, dollar bin fodder. Spider-Man, this is the newsstand copy. And, yeah, that's a good, dependable $10 book all day long. And this one can be a good book as well. This is the last book in this box, by the way. But that is Flash 323. This series would end at number 350, and the last 20 or 30 issues was, and I think this is the one where he does it, where Barry Allen actually kills the Reverse Flash and then goes on trial for that. So the last, like I said, 20, 25 issues was one big long saga. I think this might be the one where he actually does it. But it's a hard one to get in high grade because it's black cover, so it will pick up any little tick marks in the spine, and we probably see a few here. So this is probably going to end up being an 8 or an 8.5. There's a fairly decent sized one right there. But that's it. That's what was in that box. Hope you enjoyed going through that with me. I will grade those up and get them listed and scanned and put on the eBay. And I don't know, probably 2, 3 days, 5 days from when this video goes up, a week maybe. It's hard to tell. That's out of my control. They might already be up by the time you see this video, depending on how long it takes me to edit it and get it posted. So, like I said, you never know. But hey, the fun is just going through those books together. So I'm glad you were here to share that with me. And until next time, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.